Now, back home, politicians will today report back to Parliament after surveying their constituents about gay marriage. They were responding to a motion from Greens MP Adam Bandt, who asked all politicians to discuss the issue with their electorates.
And last night, gay marriage advocates met the Prime Minister. Former Australian Medical Association President Kerryn Phelps is among the campaigners, and she spoke to me earlier. I began by asking her about the results of last night's meeting.
The meeting was, I think, a very important time for representatives of the gay and lesbian community to meet directly with the Prime Minister, to talk to her about the issue of marriage equality and why it's so important to our families, to our friends, to our relationships, that our relationships are recognised under the law as equal.
She, although, is still committed to opposing same-sex marriage. Do you hold any hope of ever changing the Prime Minister's mind on this subject?
I think the community's view has evolved remarkably over recent years, to the point where now over 60% of Australians support marriage equality. There was a recent poll just last week which showed that 53% of Christians in Australia support marriage equality. Every state ALP conference so far that has voted on this issue has voted in support of marriage equality. So I think that as the Prime Minister of the country, one of the things that we pointed out to Julia Gillard is that we think it is important for her to consider her position and to look at how community attitudes have evolved, and perhaps her attitude might also evolve.
There has been some speculation that Labor Party power brokers might seek to avoid what they fear could be a damaging debate at their national conference this year on same-sex marriage. Did you elicit any guarantees that there would be that debate from the Prime Minister?
Yes, we absolutely did elicit a guarantee from the Prime Minister that there would be a debate at ALP National Conference this year. And I'm very pleased to hear that, because I think that the views of the ALP delegates need to be heard. We certainly have very strong signals that there is support around the country from ALP delegates in every state and territory that's voted on this issue in favour of changing ALP policy. And should that policy change, then I think we have a very real chance that this legislation will come through in the next year.
Later today in Federal Parliament, 22 federal MPs from across the spectrum will report back to Parliament on their constituents' views on same-sex marriage. This is all part of Greens MP Adam Bandt's bid to legalise same-sex marriage. What do you expect that debate to reveal today?
Well, certainly everything we've heard so far shows that support from the politicians who have polled their electorates is showing support sitting at around 70 to 75% in favour of marriage equality. And we do know from other polling that's been done that over 80% of Australians believe that change to this law is inevitable. So I think that our legislative processes really have to catch up with community values here, because we really are talking about family values. This is not just about same-sex couples. It is about our relationships, but it's also about protection for our children. It's about recognition within families. It's about the language of marriage. It's about the fact that people like Shelley Argent, who from PFLAG, who was in our meeting yesterday, can say that her two sons, have equal rights, that they could both be able to expect to be married to the person that they wanted to spend the rest of their lives with. Nobody's making gay marriage compulsory, but certainly for those who want to be able to marry, I think it's an important pro-choice issue.
At the same time, we have a group of prominent church leaders individually lobbying MPs on this issue today. They've put out a joint statement where they say that only a marriage between a man and a woman can create a natural and stable environment for children. Now, as the parents of an adoptive daughter, what do you say about a statement like that?
I just think it fails the common sense test. I think if we look out there in the general public, you see children being raised in all sorts of different family environments. Some children are in very happy, stable environments with their biological mother and father, but they're in the minority these days. There are some children who are living with a mother and stepfather, a father and stepmother. Some have two mothers, some have two fathers. What children have a right to is the care and safety and love of one or two parents or a family group who...
Dr. Kerryn Phelps there, one of the pro-same-sex marriage advocates who met the Prime Minister last night, and a reminder that parliamentary debate happens on the floor of the House of Representatives later this morning.